Well, welcome back to Steve Robb Reviews. Today I'm going to show you how I put in some ventilation on my garden shed build. If you like, I'll put the series from the beginning down below for you that have never seen it before. And this is the vents that I've decided to go with. And I've got two of these vents. And they're just plastic, and I've used these before, and they're just great to install. And this will give me a lot more ventilation because it is way too hot in that shed. Yes, I've got the ventilation up around the soffits, but you have to have some airflow going in there first to actually get some movement of air. So what do? I make myself up a little jig. So I'll keep this. I'll put the two vents in. If two vents ain't enough, well, I'll put more. But I'll just show you on the back here. What I like to do is just make this so it matches just a little bit bigger. I cut it just a little bit bigger than the size there. I'll take you out to the shed and I'll show you exactly what I do with this. You guys probably don't do this, but I do. I like to have everything nice and square and level and make it easy to put in and install. So let's go out to the shed and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so I got you inside the shed here, and you can see where I've got 4 holes here that's going through. And what I done was I just took my level, put it up to here, drew a line across, make sure this is level going across like this. And then I get this board, put it right on the nice level line, and as you can see, I just mark out the 4 corners. Then I take my hole saw, 1 inch, and I just go on all 4 corners all the way around and just drill through. And now on the outside, we'll drill them holes through, then I'll show you what I do next. Okay, so here we are in the back of the shed. Now we'll just drill through from the outside in. It's much better than going the opposite direction, so you don't have a bunch of busted out fiber. And this is a lot easier to do anyways. There we go. Okay, I'll finish drilling the rest of them. I'll show you what it looks like, and then I'll show you exactly what we do next. Well, as you can see here, the 4 holes have been drilled from the outside in. And if we take a good close look up there, you could see the whole idea behind using your 1 inch hole saw and just drawing a circle around. And you could eyeball it most times, but that's the idea there. Now let's go out on the outside and show you how we correspond them lines to the outside. Well, here we go right here. And all you have to do is just take your straight edge and go up, go across, and go up on the outside of all them holes. And that should line up. I'm not too sure if you can see all them lines there. So now we just got to cut it out. My favorite idea is going to be using the cordless circular saw and then finishing it off with either a Sawzall or a jigsaw. But more likely, we won't have to finish it off with anything except just the circular saw. So let's get to that right now. Okay, what I like to do is just make sure that your depth of your blade is not too deep. You don't have to have it in 2 inches or anything. It just makes it harder to cut. And I like to start off at the bottom. My last cut will be up here. That way there, nothing falls on you, right? So start off at the bottom and then do your both verticals and finish it off on the top. So let's get to it right now. Now you have to be very careful here doing a plunge cut, that's for sure. There's the first one. do this side now. Like you say, be very careful doing a plunge cut. There, now we'll do the top. Now if you would have started off at the top, I tell you what, it's not going to work out too good. Just get yourself nice and comfortable. You don't want to be too high, you don't want to be too low. There, it's almost through now. There we go. Okay, let's just finish off the corners with my little reciprocating saw here and just buzz these off. There we go. Okay, let's see if this vent fits in here. Let me just get it here. Look at that. Okay, so how are we going to fasten this in here? Well, I'm going to show you next. Stay tuned for this. So when you get these vents, you can see there's no holes on the outside here. But if you take a look closely, right on the corner there, you can see right in there, there's like a little bit of a divot. And from the inside, you just drill a pilot hole the size of the screw you're going to use. And I'll show you what I do next. Okay, so you can see here I got all the holes all done. And on the inside, on the corner, all the way around, I just put a bead latex caulking. I'll put it in the frame here now. And just sit it in there. That's as easy as that. Just like that. Now the caulking does two things. It holds it in there while you're positioning everything. Just kind of squish it in a bit. And what I'm going to do is just take one screw at the top. That's it. Now I'll stick my level on because I have to have everything level and square. And that looks good right about there. So we'll just fire in the rest of the screws. And that's pretty well it. Now that's pretty easy to me. Now the material I have is only 5/8, so I'm not putting in a big screw or anything. And there we go. I'll finish putting the rest in, then we'll take a look. Okay, so let's go inside the shed and take a look first and see what it looks like. And you notice I never put one on this end here. I decided to put it on the other end where you can't see it in the backyard. Plus the wind comes from the other side most of the time anyways. So I'll show you what we got so far here. Wow, it really brightens up in here, eh? So there it is right there. And as you can see, I went around on the inside with caulking as well. And yeah, I got it filled up full of stuff already. And I did the same thing here. Now on this one here, if you notice, I did go a little bit higher towards the top here. And I also extra sealed it on the inside all the way around too. So let's go on the outside and let's take a look, see what it looks like there. Well, here we are here. You can see that one that I just showed you last. It's sitting a little bit higher. And that's quite an easy job. It took me longer to clean up and to put them in. It took me roughly 20 minutes for each one. And yeah, that's a nice easy job. And I think anybody could do this. Well, what do you think? Yes, I believe anybody could do this. And here's the cutouts here. And it's as easy as just getting a little bit of a template, marking it all out. And you can do it yourself, no problem. Now, you don't have to use a circular saw. I use a DeWalt cordless 20-volt circular saw. Making a plunge cut. Some people are not too comfortable with it. I can see why. It's, you know, it can be dangerous, but all you have to really do is just use a jigsaw, you know, or a small sawzall. Doesn't really matter. And you can just buzz it all the way around and just put some caulking on, push it in so it doesn't fall out on you before you put your screws in, and seal it all up. And now I got one wall that doesn't have the vent on there, and that's because I really don't get any prevailing winds from there. But if it doesn't cool down in there, well, I'll throw another one in there too. So thanks for joining me here today. I think it's an easy project that I believe everybody could do. And it's something that you really should do to whatever kind of vent you have for your shed. There's all kinds of different ways. You can put them on the roof. You can do all kinds of different ventilation. But you need good ventilation inside there because before today, I put my thermometer in there, 115. Now I also put vents on my steel shed too because it's like a blast furnace in there as well. So thanks for joining me here today. If you haven't seen this channel before, well, you're welcome to subscribe. Come back again. Let's have some more fun, eh? Cheers.